You cross in front of them every time you leave your home. People who look normal. Even people you might get to know and even seem friendly. People who walk freely on the street and who keep twisted desires in their hearts. You can never know the secrets that a person keeps behind the face. You can never even imagine the things that a person plans to do with you. I have collected videos of the most spectacular cases of unfortunate people who had the bad luck of becoming the target of completely corrupted people. My name is Leonor Clay, and this is The Darkest Secret. Today we present 4 strange people you would never want to meet. Number 4. On September 13, 1978, a new episode of the famous television show The Dating Game was broadcasted on American television. A dating game where a young woman, through several questions, had to choose between 3 candidates to schedule a romantic and elegant date with all expenses paid. The program was a success in ratings, so each episode was eagerly awaited by the audience. This is how, at the premiere of a new episode, the host announced the 3 new candidates, highlighting the young man you now see on screen. Rodney Alcala. The presenter described him as a leading photographer and an extreme sports lover. A tall young man with long hair, who with his smile immediately won the favoritism of the audience. This was how, once she was presented to the audience, the young woman who had to make the final decision was making rounds of questions to the 3 candidates. Questions where Alcala always stood out with bold and lively answers that caught the young woman's attention. Answers that earned him as the undisputed winner of the expected prize. Everyone applauded and cheered the friendliness and charisma of this individual, who seemed to be very nice. Everyone applauded and cheered the friendliness and charisma of this individual, who seemed to be very nice, without even imagining that at the time of issuing this episode, Rodney had already taken the lives of 2 people, 2 women. Until today, no one knows how it is that Alcala passed all the stages of selection that allowed him to appear on the program. What is clear is that when he was captured, he confessed to have taken the lives of at least 4 women between 1970 and 1979. Including an 8-year-old girl. A man who killed in cold blood, and according to specialists, was an inveterate psychopath and one of the cruelest serial killers. He was not only content with taking their lives, this man destroyed them. In the present, Alcala is 75 years old and still in prison. It is suspected that he may be the culprit of at least 30 other similar crimes. As for the young woman of the program, she later acknowledged that upon knowing him better, she realized his true personality, so she decided to cut off all contact with him. A true beast that leaves us a lesson that undoubtedly appearances are deceiving. You can find Alcala in bars, supermarkets, restaurants. He was a man with much confidence, and on top of that, nice. If you were his type and you crossed his path, he would undoubtedly present himself kindly. There, he would begin his horrendous plan. Just like Alcala, there are thousands of people out there. Number 3. So far, I presented you real beasts that undoubtedly deserve to rot in jail. People you can no longer meet, and even if you did, you know their intentions. However, the people who lie in these 3 remaining positions are completely unknown to most. Without seeing them in this countdown, you could run into them, you could talk to them, and you would have no idea of their desires. Booj 731 is a YouTube channel that stopped updating 7 years ago. A quick look through this channel tells us that it's mostly dedicated to video games. However, it didn't start like this. He uses space on the internet to upload footage that he says has been the most traumatic experience of his life. Booj noticed on several trips in the subway that a stranger seemed to observe him every day. He thought that because of their schedules, they would run into each other. Perhaps that he left work at the same time as him. However, he kept looking at him. He decided to change his schedule and let several cars pass before getting on, but the man was always there. He didn't start recording until one day he crossed a few simple words with him. The man asked him the time, and that led to a passing conversation. And that was all. It seemed strange, but he continued his journey. He came home, took a shower, and left in his car to go to the supermarket. He made the purchases. He was putting them away when he looked up, and there was a stranger. The video you will see below is what Booj recorded exactly at that time.
And wants to be friends with you.
Well, I don't want to be friends with you. I don't know how else to say it. But I'm plainly saying it to you. I don't want to be friends. There's nothing you can do to convince me.
But why?
Because you make me uncomfortable. Because I don't want to be near you.
Well,
because you touch me, you talk to me, and I don't like it.
But what makes you uncomfortable?
You do. Your mere presence. You followed me my car a lot. How does that not make me uncomfortable?
This time Booj made it clear to him, the best he could, that they were not friends, and that he did not want him close. The obfuscated man filed a complaint with the purpose that a restraining order be made. However, none of that was successful. The stranger still followed him everywhere. He had no choice but to start recording these situations as a means of proof, recordings that were reflected in this channel. A stranger's behavior is truly worrying, although at no time is he aggressive. His way of acting is completely alienated. No one normal becomes obsessed with a stranger. You can feel Booj's frustration in one of his most popular videos. That is when he faces the subject while following him off the train.
I'll stay on the train, sir.
I'm going to stay on the train.
That's good. Get on. Stay on. Gerard, stay on a fucking train. Stop following me.
Apparently, in his mind, Gerard, for what seems to be his name, is convinced that they were both together. He does not see it as following a stranger. He sees it as accompanying a friend.
Sit down and stop following me. We're going. Sit down. We're going. Sit down.
Booj stopped uploading videos, but in his next gameplays he says he no longer bumps into Gerard. Has he really stopped following him? Or maybe, has he learned to hide better? Number 2. It has always been said that you never know how to react to unexpected situations. Situations that cause you astonishment, discomfort, or even fear. Maybe Sasha can prove this to you, the girl you see now on screen. This young woman is a well-known YouTuber who wanted to immortalize through video logs what was once a dream of hers, visiting South Korea. In her first videos, she's happy and enthusiastic, touring the most recognized points of Seoul, the capital of this country. However, in the midst of the ecstasy that meant being inserted in another culture, she noticed that something strange was beginning to be repeated frequently. She ran into someone dressed as a clown. She thought it was one of those typical urban interventions, where one of these characters follow you and annoy you for a few seconds, you know, for their street show. However, she quickly realized that it was far from that, when the clown began to follow her for blocks. She took public transportation, and when she would get off, there he was. She began to worry and talk to the guards, but whenever she did, the clown seemed to disappear. She entered a store and managed to fool him. The images speak for themselves. The fascinating journey became from one moment to another a desperate escape. Many of us have gone through a situation where clowns or mimes bother us on the streets, but they never get to the point of following us like this. The fear and anguish felt by this young woman crosses the screen. A terrible experience that, apart from ruining her vacation, will leave her marked for the rest of her life. What do you think was going through the mind of this clown? Tell me what you think. Number 1. In the video that marks the ending of this countdown is perhaps one of the most intimidating that have been recorded in terms of harassment. However, at the same time, it shows the mental speed of the victim to get out of the distressing situation. It all happened in a live show that the famous YouTuber Jake was doing with a group of friends. It was after 3 in the morning, and the young people were outside a restaurant. However, despite the time, the group, still in a festive atmosphere, were deciding what the next destination of the day would be. Then suddenly, a young woman makes her appearance disrespectfully joining the group. The YouTuber thought she was a fan, so he took it naturally. However, that young woman joined the group for a completely different reason. She told him hours later that this stranger kept following her. As you can see in the images, the man without any shame stares at her with who knows what intentions. As you can see in the images, the man without any shame stares at her with who knows what intention. The girl would later reveal that she had to transit through several streets with the man following her and slowly approaching, and that when she saw the group, she went directly to join them in the hope of escaping her distressing situation. A decision that, according to her, had been the best one she has made in her life. Since observing the appearance of the stranger, she undoubtedly chose correctly. An adult man who probably went unnoticed everywhere. Perhaps a family man, a worker, someone apparently normal, but with creepy, hidden tendencies. There is no doubt that both this case and the others we saw in this countdown show us that at any time one can be involved in such a situation. Situations that sometimes escalate faster than we can control, ending up in the hands of maybe who knows what animal. I hope you like this video because we have come to its end. My name is Leonore Clay, and this was The Darkest Secret.